Every single day, usually between 5 and 9 a.m., we release our Central Indiana Scoreboard show, all the previous day's Central Indiana and major national sports news. Pacers, Fever, Colts, IndyCar, IU, Purdue, Ball State, Butler, and of course, the best high school sports coverage in Central Indiana. Please join us for your daily audio sports section. What you're listening to now is the Central Indiana Sports Report podcast number 290.3, our baseball regional scoreboard show from Saturday's regionals at Oak Hill, Kokomo, Logansport, Lafayette, Center Grove, Mooresville, Madison, Fort Wayne, Carroll, NorthWood, Jasper, LaPorte, Griffith, Floyd Central, Mitchell, and Southridge.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, Central Indiana sports fans, and welcome to the Baseball Regional Scoreboard Show. Today is June 9, 2025. It is a Monday. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt, podcasting today from headquarters in beautiful Jeffersonville, Indiana, heading back to beautiful Elwood, Indiana in the morning. Producer Susie is in the control room. Coming up, we have results from baseball regionals at Carroll in Fort Wayne, at Center Grove, Evansville, at Floyd Central, Griffith, Jasper, Kokomo, Lafayette, LaPorte, Logansport, Mitchell, NorthWood, at Oak Hill, and at Southridge. But first, I'm going to ask you to please go to our YouTube page and subscribe. We got lots of cool stuff there. Go do it. Also, we've had so many high school postseason scoreboards in the last week. I don't need to tell you about all of them. You just need to know that they're there. You're smart enough to find this podcast. I'm sure you're smart enough to find the ones that you want to hear. Also, we will have a baseball semi-state preview show later this week for you, plus continued coverage of the Pacers, Fever, IndyCar, and our weekly shows like the IU Report with Grant Schaus, the Major League Baseball Report with Cody Emerson, and Uncle Paul, and 5 Questions with Will Rutherford, all coming up this week. We're going to start in the North in all 4 classes. And start with Class 4A, where there's lots of new blood in the semi-state that'll be played at Kovaleski Stadium in South Bend on Saturday. It was number 11 Westfield 7-6 over Harrison at Loeb Stadium in Lafayette. It's back-to-back regional championships for the Shamrocks in the 4th in program history. Junior Gavin Russ was 4 for 5 with a double and 2 runs. Junior Nick Farrow had 2 RBIs for the 22-9 Shamrocks. Harrison's season ends at 20-8. They were twice 1 hit away from winning their first regional championship since 1998. The Raiders won their first sectional championship in 9 years last Monday. The single game story of the day is the Goshen Redhawks 4-2 win over top-ranked and 6-time state champion Penn at the NorthWood Regional. For Goshen, it's their first regional championship since 1981 and their second in the last 56 years. Colton Rapp had a 2 RBI double in Goshen's 3-1 first, and Ryan Diaz made it all hold up with 6 strong innings and his 5th win of his junior year. Penn's season ends at 28-2. At Fort Wayne Carroll, it was number 13 Snyder 9-1 over number 6 Homestead. It's the first regional championship in 16 years for the 24-6 Panthers. Senior Landon Fry hit his 4th triple of the year and his 2nd home run of the year in the win. He scored 3 times and drove in 3 runs. Noah Hess threw a complete game, gave up just 1 run on 6 hits, and is now 6-0 on the year with a 0.76 ERA. Number 8 Valparaiso won their first regional championship ever with a 5-0 win over Crown Point. Hayden Crowell threw a complete game 4-hit shutout with 10 strikeouts and just 2 walks. Gabe Bush hit a double, scored a run, and drove in a run for the Vikings. So Saturday at Kovaleski Stadium at South Bend at 11 a.m., it'll be number 13 Snyder against number 8 Valparaiso. Snyder is 24-6, Valparaiso 23-5. The second semifinal at 2 o'clock will be number 11 Westfield, which is 22-9, against upset-minded Goshen, which is 12-13. The championship game, played at all 8 locations, is at 7 o'clock. At LaPorte and Evansville, that means 7 o'clock Central. The 4 regional champions in the south of Class 4A feed into the Mooresville semi-state, which will be played at Pioneer Field on Saturday. And North Central won its 6th regional championship all time, but its first since 2006, with a 6-3 win over Greenfield Central at Center Grove. The Panthers broke a 1-1 tie in the 6th, then scored 4 more times in the 7th for the win. Tanner Wilson was 2 for 2 with an RBI. Ruskin Mathias scored twice. Wilson and Jackson Dennison combined to give up just 3 runs on 4 hits. Dennison got the win to improve to 5-2 on the season. Greenfield Central sees its season come to an end at 15-15. Parker Rhodes threw 5 strong innings. It all fell apart after he had to leave the mound. Rhodes allowed just 1 run. It was unearned on 2 hits and 5 innings pitched. Sophomore Gavin Marcus hit a double and drove in 2 runs. At Center Grove, it was the host Trojans 14-3 over Brownsburg. It's the 8th regional championship all time for Center Grove, and their second in the last 3 years. They scored 6 runs in the first inning and finished with 15 hits. Junior catcher Tristan Yerman was 4 for 5 with 2 doubles and 7 RBIs. Senior Andrew Krupa was 4 for 5 with 3 RBIs and scored 3 times. And junior Gannon Gant was 3 for 4. At Southridge, Franklin beat Terre Haute North 4-2 for their first regional championship since 1995. The Grizzly Cubs trailed 2-0 through 4 innings, then scored a run in the 5th and 3 in the 6th to take the win away from the 18-9 Patriots. Senior Braden Burton surrendered just 1 earned run in 5 innings to get the win. Sophomores Karsten Bland and Brady Gent had 2 hits apiece. Senior Nash Netter hit a clutch RBI double, with Blake Smythe following him with a clutch RBI single for the Cubs. At Bosse Field in Evansville, it was Evansville North 6-4 over Seymour, the first regional championship in 19 years for the Huskies. North led 6-1 after 6.5 innings before Seymour scored 3 times in the bottom of the 7th, but senior Connor Watson shut down the Owls, allowing just 1 run in relief. Senior Braden Perry got the win by going 4 innings, giving up just 5 hits, no earned runs, 6 strikeouts, and no walks. So Saturday at Pioneer Field in Mooresville at 11 a.m. will be the first semifinal. It'll be 23-8 Evansville Central against 19-9 North Central. Game 2 at 2 o'clock will be number 2 Center Grove against Franklin. Center Grove is 26-4. Franklin is 18-9. The winners from South Bend and Mooresville will play for the Class 4A state championship. In Class 3A, the regionals feed into the semi-state at LaPorte's Schreiber Field, and the Delta Eagles are back-to-back regional champions after a 5-2 win over number 8 Western at Logansport on Saturday. For Delta, it's the program's 7th regional championship. Delta scored twice in the first inning, then 2 more runs in the second, and led 5-0 after 5 innings. Senior Zane Klein threw a complete Game 3 hitter, giving up just 2 runs. He struck out 8 and walked 2. On offense, he was 2 for 3 with a double and scored the first run of the game after singling and scoring on an error. Junior Ryan Neal had a run and an RBI for the Eagles. Western season comes to an end at 26-5. Ryan Rodman hit a 2-run homer in his final game of his junior season. The Panthers are going to be a team to watch in 2026. At Griffith, number 1 Andrean had no problem with Highland It's the 17th regional championship for the 8-time state champion 59ers, including their third in the last 4 years. Andrean scored 3 times in the first inning, then added runs in the second, third, and sixth. Ivan Mistalki struck out 7 in 4 innings and earned the win. Freshman Brady Bode had the only hit for the 17 and 14 Trojans. Norwell won its 9th regional championship in program history and its third in the last 5 years with a thrilling 2-1 win over number 16 Bishop Dwenger at Fort Wayne Carroll. Senior Noah Turk gave up just 1 run in 5 innings pitched, and that run was unearned. Then freshman Dylan Chisholm threw 2 scoreless innings for the save. Senior Drew Graft had an RBI double in the 5th inning that gave the Knights a 1-0 lead. After the Saints tied it in the 5th, sophomore Trey Privett's RBI single in the 6th gave Norwell the victory. And at NorthWood, it was the host Panthers 3-2 over defending state champion New Prairie. It's NorthWood's 4th regional championship, their first since 2017. They scored thrice in the first 2 innings. Connor Reed threw a complete game, giving up just 2 runs on 6 hits. He struck out 9 and didn't walk a single batter. He's now 6-2 with a 2.30 ERA on the season. Offensively, Mason Warren was 3 for 3 with a double and 2 RBIs for NorthWood. So the semi-state lineup at LaPorte's Schreiber Field at 11 a.m. It'll be 22-9 Delta against 23-8 and top-ranked Andrean, followed by 18-11 Norwell against 20-12 NorthWood at 2. The championship game's at 7. All of the South Regional champions in Class 3A feed into the Jasper semi-state at Ruxer Field. And one of those teams will be the New Palestine Dragons, who won their 9th regional championship with a 9-1 win over Cascade at Mooresville on Saturday. It's the 3rd straight regional championship for the 2nd-ranked Dragons. The regional three-peat comes a week after a sectional 4-peat. Rigby Huron threw a no-hitter, striking out 9 with just 3 walks. Jacob Morris, huge day at the plate, 3 for 4. He had his 4th home run of the season, his 4th double of the season. He scored twice and drove in 4 runs. Garin Catholic upset number 9 Cathedral at Ruxer Field, 5-4 on Carson Smith's walk-off single in the bottom of the 8th inning for the first regional championship in program history. Tate Troxel threw 3 scoreless innings and struck out 5. Ben Canada reached on 4 of his 5 plate appearances with a double, a run, and 2 RBIs. And Ian Taylor was 2 for 3 with a triple, a run, and an RBI for the Golden Eagles. Cathedral sent the game into extra innings by scoring 3 times in the top of the 7th. Junior Cameron Kors had a couple of RBIs for 20-10 Cathedral, which is a 9-time state finalist. Also at Jasper, it was number 7 Jasper 6-0 over Evansville Central. It's the 27th regional championship for the 6-time state champion Wildcats. This was their 2nd straight and 4th in the last 5 years. Kai Kuntz allowed just 4 hits in 5 shutout innings. He struck out 5 and no one got past second base against him. Braden Geisler was 2 for 3 with a home run, and Jet Springer was 2 for 3 with an RBI. And at Madison, Greensburg beat Scottsburg 12-2 for the Pirates' 3rd regional championship and first since 2012. Greensburg scored 8 of its 12 runs in the 4th inning. Caleb Grewe homered and drove in 3 runs. Logan Myers had 4 RBIs. Lance McCoy threw 6 innings, giving up just 1 earned run and striking out 8. So Saturday at Jasper at 11 a.m., it'll be 2 of our favorite teams, the number 2 New Palestine Dragons, who are 24-3, against the 18-12 Garin Catholic Golden Eagles. The second semifinal at 2 o'clock will be number 7 Jasper against Greensburg. Jasper's 26-6. Greensburg is 18-7. Again, championship game at 7. Now we move to Class 2A, which had a huge shakeup on Saturday, including some wins by a couple of local teams. Oak Hill beat number 2 Lafayette Central Catholic 2-1 at Oak Hill. It was the 20th win of the season for the Golden Eagles, their first sectional championship and regional championship all since 2006, all came in a 5-day span. It's their 4th ever regional championship and ends the 3-year reign as regional and semi-state championships for the 9-time state championship Knights. Senior Emmett Dorothy continued his hot pitching. He went 6 innings, giving up just 2 hits, 1 earned run. He struck out 5. Harrison York then threw a scoreless 7th for his first save of the year. Junior Aiden Pierce had an RBI single in the 6th that was the game winner. Junior Landon Watts had a couple of hits for the Golden Eagles. At Kokomo Municipal Stadium, it was Wapahani 2-1 over number 1 Lapel, just the 3rd loss of the season for the number 1 Bulldogs. Junior Eli Andrews delivered a clutch 2-out, 2-run triple in the 6th inning to give Wapahani its 9th regional championship and 2nd in the last 4 years. Senior Nate Luce was in complete control on the mound. He threw a complete game. The only run scored against him was unearned and surrendered just 5 hits. Lapel senior Kai Newman threw a complete game. He only allowed Wapahani 3 hits and 1 earned run and struck out 9 in his final prep outing. He finished the season 7-1 with a 1.42 ERA. Also for Lapel, senior Ray Smith in his final game had an RBI. Sophomore Jackson Kripe, watch out for him in the fall, scored a run for Lapel. The Bulldogs went 27-3, ended the regular season ranked number 1, and won their first sectional championship in 10 years last week. Great season for them that ends in disappointment. At Oak Hill, Westview beat Adams Central 11-1 in 5 innings. The 2-time defending regional champion Warriors scored twice in the first inning, then added to their lead with 4 in the 3rd. Jake Massey went 2 for 2 with a triple and 4 RBIs. He also crossed home plate twice. Jackson Engel had 2 doubles and an RBI, and Max Engel held the Jets to just 1 run on 3 hits. Westview entered the postseason just 11-11. The loss ends Adams Central's 7-game winning streak after they were once 9-9. And at LaPorte, number 6 Boone Grove beat Jimtown 9-0 for their 8th regional championship, all in the last 30 years. Senior Javi Carrera threw a complete game 1-hit shutout with 14 strikeouts. He also hit a double, drove in 3 runs, and scored twice. Senior Ben Truby also had 3 RBIs, and Davian Carrera had a double and scored twice for the 23-6 Wolves. The Jimmy season ends at 22-8. The semi-state on Saturday at Oak Hill, it'll be 19-8 Wapahani against the host Golden Eagles, who are 20-9 at 11 o'clock in the first semifinal. The second semifinal will be number 6 Boone Grove, which is 23-6 against 15-11 Westview. Don't count out the Warriors ever. Championship game, of course, is at 7 o'clock. And Class 2A in the South, it was the University Trailblazers 10-5 over Greencastle at Mitchell. It's the 4th regional championship for the Trailblazers in the last 7 years, and look to head to state for the 3rd time in 7 years on Saturday. The 5 regional championships University had previously won all came between 2012 and 2021. Junior Beckett Sue and sophomore Charlie Rannick homered and combined for 5 RBIs. Junior Ryan Castetter also drove in 2 for University. Junior Caleb Stocker gave up just 4 runs on 6 hits. He struck out 5 and improved to 6-4 on the season with a 2.32 ERA. Junior Ashton Dayhuff doubled and drove in 2 runs for the Tiger Cubs. At Mitchell, number 7 Shenandoah won its first regional championship since 1987 when I was in 8th grade, and the 3rd in program history. Shenandoah scored 3 times, all with 2 outs in the 5th inning to make history. Colin Ozenbaugh threw a complete game. He gave up just 2 runs on 6 hits with 11 strikeouts and 1 walk. He's now 8-1 with a 1.0 ERA on the year. Junior Aiden Coffey was 2 for 4 with a couple of RBIs. Junior Fredenberg was 2 for 4 with an RBI. Senior Brandon Conyers doubled, scored, and drove in a run. For Triton Central, Eli Sego hit his first home run of the season in his final game of the year. At Floyd Central, it was 3-time state champion and 12th ranked Providence, 12-0 over the Switzerland County Pacers, our favorite team. Providence is now 15-7 after winning their 8th regional championship in the last 21 years. Gavin Jackson threw 6 innings, giving up just 3 hits and no runs, with 13 strikeouts and 1 walk for the defending state champion Pioneers. Junior Blake Straub threw 1 inning. He walked 3, but didn't allow any runs in his relief performance. On offense, Jackson hit a single, his 6th home run of the year, and his 4th in the last 5 games. He drove in 4 runs. And at Bosse Field in Evansville, it was number 3 Evansville Mater Dei 2-1 over number 4 and reigning Class A state champion Bar Reeve. It's the 10th regional championship all-time for the Wildcats, but their first in 11 years. The winning run came in the 8th on Drake Branson's RBI single. Max Miller threw 5 innings and allowed just 1 run, and Cole Breeden threw 3 scoreless innings in relief in the Wildcats' extra inning victory. Bar Reeves' Seth Wagner allowed just 2 runs on 5 hits in the loss. Bar Reeves had another great season that comes to an end at 26-6. Saturday at the University of Evansville, it will be 20-11 University against 15-7 and 12th ranked Providence at 10 a.m. The second semifinal at 1 a.m. will be number 3 Mater Dei against number 7 Shenandoah. Mater Dei is 21-7, Shenandoah 22-4. This is one of the 2 semi-states. The championship game is 7 o'clock Central Time, not Eastern. And we move to Class A. The North Regional Champions feed into Loeb Stadium in Lafayette, where the semi-state will be played on Saturday. And there will be number 4 Clinton Prairie, an 8-7 victor over Riverton Park at Loeb Field in Lafayette. The Gophers rallied from 4 runs down, scored twice in the bottom of the 7th, and beat Riverton Park 8-7 for the program's first regional championship since 1993. Jackson Price beat out an infield single with a head-first dive, and Wyatt Harshberger singled to bring home Price. Then the number 9 hitter Malachi Corbin came through with a single that scored Harshberger with the game's winning run. The Gophers had 13 hits from 7 different batters. Kai Jacobs was 3 for 5 with a double, an RBI, and 2 runs. Harshberger, Corbin, sophomore Alex King, and senior Ben Schleisler all had 2 hits in the win. King was the winning pitcher, throwing 2 hitless innings for the 21-7 Gophers. At Kokomo's Municipal Stadium, it was Union City 12-0 over Northfield in 5 innings for back-to-back regional champions for the Indians. Jason Connor threw a complete game 2-hit shutout. He's now 3-1 on the year with a 1.91 ERA. Senior Brennan Hogart drove in 3, and seniors Luke Collins and Trenton Spencer each hit a double and drove in 2 runs. For Northfield, they were coming off their first sectional championship since 2018. Senior Maddox Daniels had the only hit for the 14-17 Norse. At Logansport, it was Fort Wayne Canterbury 6, Triton 4. Sophomore J.P. Rohr and senior Reed Hayes each homered for the 13-8 Cavaliers. It was the first home run of the season for Rohr, who also threw a complete game with 7 strikeouts to improve to 4-1 on the mound this season. Hayes drove in 2 and scored twice, and Noah Hayes was 3 for 4 with a run and an RBI for the Cavaliers. Junior Drew Bingaman tripled and scored twice for the 20-10 Trojans. And number 1 Couts improved to 25-6 with the program's 6th regional championship and its first since 2011, 3-0 over number 15 Tri-County at LaPorte. Listen to this one. Couch freshman Billy Miller threw a 17 strikeout no-hitter for the top-ranked Mustangs. Junior Noah Gudeman gave him all the offense that he would need with a pair of RBIs. So Saturday at Lafayette's Loeb Stadium, it'll be number 1 Couch against Union City. Couch is 25-6, the Indians 13-11. Then at 2 o'clock, it'll be the 21-7 Clinton Prairie Gophers against the 13-8 Fort Wayne Canterbury Cavaliers. Championship at 7. And in the South, the regionals feed into the Mitchell semi-state. And at Mooresville, it was number 9 Lutheran 14-1 over Anderson Prep for the program's 3rd regional championship and 2nd in a row. The Saints scored 11 times in the first 3 innings on 8 hits, 8 walks, 4 hit batters. Junior Hudson Mills had a triple, a run, and 2 RBIs and got the win on the mound to improve to 4-1 on the year. Senior Sam Strader drove in 2 runs. Anderson Prep just won 1 regular season game, then got it on a roll in the sectional to win its first sectional title ever. At Mitchell, it was number 3 Knightstown, 7-6 in 8 innings over number 6 Hauser. It's the 5th ever regional championship for the Panthers and back-to-back championships. Jackson Davis hit a 3-run homer and Kelton Weaver hit a walk-off sacrifice fly in the 24-4 Panthers 8-inning 7-6 win over Hauser. Senior Holden Pittman scored twice and drove in a run for 19 and for Hauser. It was the Northeast Du Bois Jeeps 10-0 over number 8 West Washington at Floyd Central. The Jeeps scored twice in the first and 3 times in the second. That was plenty for sophomores Eli Schroering and Connor Fuse, who combined on a 6-hit shutout. Senior Aiden Sheets was 2 for 3, hit his 3rd home run in his last 4 games and 4th of the season in the win. He drove in 2 and scored a run. Sophomore Sam Beck had 2 RBIs and scored 4 times. Sophomore Drake Klusander had a double and a triple. Shakamak won its 5th straight regional championship and 17th all-time with a 4-3 win over the Reveille Patriots. The Lakers extended their winning streak to 8 games by scoring 4 times in the 5th inning to overcome a 3-0 deficit. The key hit was a Jaden Thacker 2-run double. So the semi-state championship on Saturday at Mitchell at 11 a.m. It'll be 18-10 Lutheran against 24-4 Knightstown. And it's 16-7 Shakamak against 21-8 Northeast Du Bois. And of course, the championship game is at 7 o'clock. Thank you so much for listening. Share the crap out of this podcast. Thank you. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.